The reason why this chicken tractor is illegal in many states is because the window tinting is too dark. But if you want to learn an easy tractor to build, stick with me. And there's a playlist too, if you'd like to take some of these ideas and make them your own. Thank you, visitors and redheaded step family. This is Hello America Side Project. If you're not a subscriber, I think you'll find many a reason to do so by the end of this video. This is the second greatest chicken tractor ever to be built, and I just said second, so I don't have to argue for first. You're looking at what will be a 2.5-story condo convertible with a sunroof. Right now, just 2 stories. The 3rd story will just be a loft. Subscribe for that, but let's get into this. I'm going to give you a zillion ideas for your chicken tractor, but most importantly, I want you to understand this was made with just 5 panels. 4 to make the outside walls, and 1 to make a floor at the bottom of the red box. I truly believe anyone can do this, but let's jump in and catch up on the newest installment and see how awesome this is. Now, I didn't want to do a gambrel roof, but the way I did it, I think anybody could do it. I just made one of these triangles, and I'll explain that quickly in a second, and then I just tried to match every one to be just like it. Now, they weren't perfect, but that's okay. Now, we're about to switch to video in a minute or two, but let's recap first. My chicken tractor is 48 inches long. I wish I would have gone for 6 feet, and the gambrel roof basic mathematics is that the first slant and the second slant are equal. It turns out the building I'm trying to reproduce, the one I live in, doesn't have that exact 16-16 dimension or the same dimension twice. The angles I used and how I did it can be found in the playlist in a previous video. And Angus Delgado donated a roll of sheet metal, cut 2 pieces to length, and then bent them over and cut them so both sides meet in the center. And then I took a 3rd piece and put that crease and then screwed this down to make sure none of the water goes inside when the roof is hit. It'll be loud, but the girls will enjoy it. They got a lot more space now. Now, the red corrugated plastic was pretty far out of my budget. That's what the walls are made of from round 1 of this project. So I took some old plexiglass sheets and using a marker, I put the sheet up to the side and marked the corners, connected the lines, and brought it to White Feather Swami to cut for me. Then he gave me this roll of tint, which I think is perfect. I intended only to use the plexiglass on one side, but I had plexiglass and I didn't have wood, so I used the plexiglass and the tint on both sides. Now, the tint is only 50% applied at this point. Because my plexiglass was probably over 20 years old, I pre-drilled holes gently because it was still cracking. I think you just saw it crack right there. But no worries, I'm going to use a good-sized rubber washer, and I don't believe it will move ever. So after drilling a hole, I would take a 1 1/4 drywall screw with that rubber metal grommet on the end of it, metal side away from the plastic or the plexiglass, and put them all the way around except for the bottom. So using a 59-cent furring strip from Menards, I am going to level out the plexiglass and the wood. This top furring strip along the bottom of the plexiglass is to protect the plexiglass from taking the weight of the whole top when I open and close it, bearing the weight on the hinges. So I mark off my edges, and I don't ever use a ruler. Every screw I put in is based on how the last screw went in. Both sides of this gambrel roof are quite different, so this piece of furring strip may be a different length and some different angles on the other side. So I just do it to what I built. So I'm pre-drilling one hole, and then I'm putting a screw into it, and I will do it one at a time. Drill the hole, put the screw in. Drill the hole, put the screw in. Now I'm using that furring strip on both sides so I can have an equal size gap on both sides so I could fit the spine of the hinge in the slot that's between the two furring strips. And on the plexiglass, I use this 3M stuff because it works on wood and it works on plastic. On the bottom furring strip, I used wood glue and 3 screws. Now it's time to put in the hinges, and you'll notice that I actually right away put them on backwards. I did figure that out, and then flipped them because I wanted the spine of the hinge to be in between the two pieces of wood facing the body of the tractor. So basically the opposite of that on both sides. On the top of the hinge connected to the roof, I used 1 3/4 inches, so it would go through all 3 inches that I had there. And then on the bottom, I only got, I think, a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, so I used 1 3/4 plus the furring strip. It didn't go through. And here's the final product. And I actually only have the inside tint on the plexiglass. I want to clean the windows much better. I have some gunk on the outsides, and then I'll put another piece of tint, which will make this illegal in most states. And I'm going to paint up the trim there, the new wood. But I think that looks gorgeous. And if you remember all last year, it was just a flat roof on top of that red box. And that's all the headroom they had. And 1/3 of this side will have a piece of wood to make it a loft with a sandbox in it. There are my screws with the rubber grommets. And here's the inside of the hen house. The girls look happy to me. This is from the other side from where I will be putting that loft over that kind of already framed out area. So let's take a look at that roof in full operation. Oh yeah, baby! This turned out to be a great addition. I'm really glad I spent the time. I appreciate my landlord for being so patient with me on getting the plexiglass cut and the money together for each part of the project. This entire build is out of 1x3s and 2x3s. Nope, 1x3s and 1x2s. And a lot of flashing. It's really that simple. No heavy pieces of wood anywhere here. 4 panels. Oh, the 2x2, which holds the corners together. And each morning I unhook that hook, slide one bucket out of the other bucket, and collect my eggs. And if you want to know how that works, that's back in the video playlist also. So thank you for watching. This was a fantastic project. It was a lot of fun. It is not perfect, but it's handmade in America, man. I highly recommend you watch my playlist to grab all of my ideas and put them into your own idea. Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives you. And keep on smiling.